So a lot of people see the success, they see the wealth, they see the fame, they understand, Daniel, you've gone so far, but they don't know how it all started. They don't know that I was that guy that was born homeless to a 16-year-old mother and a 20-year-old father, both immigrants. Both didn't know about the American system. And my parents really struggled. I had to go to school with metal detectors. I had to face so many brutal things that happened in my life, hearing gunshots, eating canned food, getting cursed at, and getting beat up from the kids that I went to school almost every day. So my parents knew that this was not the ideal, and they wanted to make changes, and so they worked long hours. I remember my parents would work 12, 16, even 20 hours a day, working overtime, and me and my brother would be home alone. I remember calling my parents so many times. I wasn't even able to see them some days because they were working so hard on trying to save money, trying to move us to a better place. And thankfully, that better place was central Pennsylvania. Now, when I moved to this new location, I felt inferior because I felt like all the other kids were so much more privileged than me. Whenever they wanted to go out, their parents let them. Whenever they wanted something, their parents bought it for them. Whenever they wanted to join the team or do anything, it seemed like it happened so naturally. And I would ask my parents and they would say, it's too expensive. We can't afford it. Money's hard to come by. And I would hear this so many times, and the frustrations was just being taken out on me. So that by the time I was 13, I was so ready to work. I wasn't even allowed to work, but I wanted to work. I wanted to make money. I wanted to experience wealth in my own terms. So I got all these jobs all throughout high school. I was so ambitious, and I was focused on these jobs and not focused on school, which caused me to fail. Then I started using drugs because I felt like that wasn't enough. I was just chasing money. It didn't feel like I had a purpose. And finally I graduated. I graduated second to last. Guess what? The last guy was in jail. And I'm not laughing at him. I'm just saying I was that bad. I was that stupid. I failed so many classes. But the fact is that I had to realize that I wasn't stupid. So I forced myself to go to college. And I went through 5 years and I finally got my degree. And at the end, I still felt stupid. I still felt inadequate. I still felt like it wasn't enough because I couldn't find a job. I couldn't find my purpose. But it wasn't until one day I asked myself, Daniel, what are you going to do? Are you going to make some changes? Because if you don't make some changes, you're either going to be in jail or you're going to end up dead. And I decided that day I had to read books. I picked up this big book called the Bible and I started reading. And I became so inspired because I knew that what I was reading was the truth. It impacted me so deeply that I wanted to read more books. So I started reading all the books in my library. Then I went to the free library and I ordered more books. And then I ordered books on Amazon. And then I went crazy. I started reading all these books. And all of a sudden my life started to change. All of a sudden I wanted more for myself. I wanted to make things happen. So I asked myself, now what? What do I do? I gotta figure out what I'm good at. I gotta figure out what my talent is, what my gift is. I realized that the neighbors that I had and the people that I was working out with at the gym and the people that I saw at school or work at church, none of them were going to change unless they changed their mentality. I realized that if I wanted to change my income, if I wanted to change my lifestyle, if I wanted to change my health, whatever it was, my finances, I had to change the way I thought. And I realized that if I wanted to change my reality, I had to change my mentality. I had to change the way I looked at things. That's when I stopped using drugs. That's when I stopped lying. That's when I stopped cursing. That's when I stopped cheating and stealing and fooling around, wasting time. I used drugs for so many years. I used to smoke 2 packs of cigarettes. I would drink and drive. I would do all these crazy things that wasn't helping me. And I realized that this is not the life I want to live. I saw other people doing these things and I saw where they were going. I saw that they would end up being dead, or they would end up in jail, or they would end up in poverty. And I said, this is not for me anymore. And I made that change in my early 20s and I said, I'm going to do the best I can. I'm going to live my life. I'm going to see the invisible so I can do the impossible. And that's when things began to change for me. I realized that if you want to gain clarity, you can't hang out in the clouds anymore. You can't hang out with fools if you want to be wise. You can't hang out with poor people if you want to be rich. You can't hang out with weak people if you want to be strong. You've got to change the people you associate with. You've got to search for mentors. You've got to go to conferences and do whatever it takes to get around the people who can help you achieve your goals, who can help you utilize your talents, who can help you find your purpose in life.